is my bag, basically. So I'm best known for my bacteria sculptures of my face, which turns 10 years old next year. I only found out the other day. So basically, I used agar, which is the jelly in a petri dish, and made that into sculptures of my face and swabbed my bacteria onto it, and then let it grow in a gallery space so that I could communicate science through art and communicate what bacteria looks like. And at this exhibition, I had a lot of people say, "Oh, I didn't know you had bacteria on your face." So that's probably why I've been going for 10 years with it. But this project is still ongoing, and I'm still fascinated by the invisible world on our skin. I also was lucky enough to get accepted onto a permanent exhibition at the Eden Project in 2015. So this face is down there in Cornwall, and it's been growing and evolving for almost 6 years now. And then after I graduated from Central St Martin's doing a master's in art and science, I got commissioned by the BBC to make a life-size sculpture of Michael Mosley in bacteria. And what we did was split half the body and treated one side with antibiotics and the other side without, so that we could visually communicate antibiotic resistance. And this was aired in 2017. I've also done projects with science technology, so pill cams, exploring the gut microbiome and the beauty of the technology, as well as my own gut. And now I'm going to talk to you about why I'm here today and how I've become part of the IIH UK charity. I want to talk to you about my artworks, which are focused on IIH. But before that, I'm going to share my diagnosis story. And it's a story I've lived through once, but a story I've seen shared and repeated numerous times by the IIH UK support groups. I had headaches for a couple of weeks, went to the opticians and was told that it was a matter of emergency, that I should go to the hospital. And within this time, I was told it might have a brain tumor. I was kind of left in the dark a lot of the time about what was going on. It was extremely stressful and traumatic, the 2 days, especially waiting for results of the MRI. And I think the lumbar puncture was, as I said here, most traumatic experience I've ever had. Luckily, I've only had one, and because I'm determined never to have another one. And what I found frustrating was the fact that I wasn't given a lot of guidance on how to manage the condition. And I remember my neurologist at the time saying to me, "If you don't stop eating, you're going to go blind," which I think doctors have a way of trying to scare people into a healthy lifestyle, but the way that they scare people, in my opinion, isn't helpful at all, and is actually more detrimental to a patient's health. So after this, I thought I was alone for about a year. I thought that it was my fault that I had this condition, and I had no kind of self-esteem or confidence. And I started to develop serious anxiety issues. And then I think it was about a year later, it was September, and a friend of mine on Facebook posted IIH Awareness Month, and I thought, oh, okay, that's actually, I think that's what I've got. And then I contacted my friend and she shared her story with me, which was very similar to mine. And it was such a huge relief to hear that someone else has gone through the same thing. And then she told me about the support groups. And I remember the first time I went on to the Facebook support group, I was on it probably 24 hours, just looking through everyone's stories and going, oh my gosh, why have I been isolating myself for a year? And I completely lost all the willingness to kind of make artwork. I couldn't continue with my career for a year or so because I just didn't understand the condition. But from this point, when my friend showed me the IIH UK charity and the support groups, I realized that I needed to do something, and I wanted to do something to change how we are perceived, IIH sufferers, you know, and how it can be managed, because it can be managed. I've gone from 2018 to now, I've gone from being on 2 types of medication to none now, because I've thrown myself into the research and I've just understood how it affects my body as well as how it affects others. So, sorry, I'm just trying to find where I am. So I started to explore lots of different aspects of the condition. So the symptoms up there. So pulsatile tinnitus, neck and shoulder pain, double vision, papilledema, and migraine. And I just wanted to start exploring different ways of sensing and seeing these symptoms. I also wanted to draw, because I'm studied as an illustrator originally, and it's something that I go to first when I'm trying to get an idea out. And this is how I see IIH and how it affects us, with the pressure around the brain and the ears being such a kind of force of sound that you can only hear yourself, and the heartbeat, your spine, your neck is in so much pain. And I just wanted to kind of put this together to communicate it with someone else so they understood this invisible illness. I also do lots of sculpture as well, and I've been working on a piece to explain what a lumbar puncture is, but also why it happens, why we do it, to relieve the pressure. And then I was lucky enough to be accepted onto an art residency with Birmingham University, and it was all about OCT machines and how they can help practitioners diagnose papilledema. So the drawing on the right is what I wanted to do last year, but because of COVID, I couldn't do anything like that. I wanted to make an installation about all the different aspects of the symptoms, and I got as far as this sketch because of the pandemic, unfortunately. But I did gather information from the community as well, with help from Shelley and Amanda, by doing a survey on the sensory experiences of the symptoms. And I was amazed at how many people responded and how similar everyone's answers were. And it's really helping my practice as well. This is only the papilledema section. I've done all 6 symptoms. So it's really amazing to be able to collaborate with the community on this and try and give the IIH community a different audience, an artistic audience, as well as the community itself. So this project I was doing was all about cyanotypes. And the reason I did cyanotypes is because they are made in a similar way as OCT images, through light waves. And I took images of my brain, which were taken when I was diagnosed, and my eyes as well, and then combining them with the way it looks, so the shakiness of the flickers that you get, and just trying to visualize how these symptoms affect you. And it's very hard to do this, but with your help, it's been amazing to hear people's stories. And but if you don't know, the Cyanotype, it's the original blueprint and discovered in 1842. So I've been using this technique to try and communicate a blueprint of papilledema and how it affects you in each stage, so going left to right, and also incorporating the process of from the residency as well. But I want to talk to you a bit more about physical pain and how to visualize it, because pain is so subjective, and usually people describe it metaphorically or just saying where the pain is. And then we move on to how we explain pain to medical professionals. And I mean, when someone says, if you're at the doctor's and they say, how bad is the pain, 1 to 10, you're going to say 10, because you want to be taken seriously. So I feel like this is a bit of a dated way of like visually and also displaying the pain scale. This is the most amazing representation of different types of pain that I've found. It's the only one I've been able to find. And I also want to talk about how I want your help a bit further with this. So I did a pilot workshop exploring physical pain with the Health and Culture Wellbeing Society and at the Beanie as well in Canterbury. And it went so well, people felt like they could really understand their pain more when they put it on paper, and not necessarily with words, but just with mark making. So on the 23rd of July, I'm doing a 2-hour session on Zoom. No artistic experience required. I'm going to teach you mark making techniques, and it will also be a focus group, kind of sharing and collaborating. And we will can we put the link in the chat, please, Shelley? But yeah, so if you're interested, it's free. You can sign up via the link, and it would be great to collaborate with you on trying to communicate pain differently to professionals. I'm also planning to do a lot of projects around IIH, including the stigma in obesity and how we can change the stigma towards us as IIH patients, and most importantly, how it can help our mental health. Because being told by a doctor, if you don't stop eating, you'll go blind, isn't the best way of showing care, you know, and showing that kind of support that you need. Because I think with obesity, you need to start with the mind and then the body. But yeah, so that's about me. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to Shelley and Amanda and everyone in the IIH UK community. I'm an active member of the support group. I try and reassure people where possible, but also I'm just really interested in the condition and how it works and how it links to other things like PCOS, which I also have. And yeah, I think I'm done, but thank you so much for listening. And if you've got any questions, please let me know.
I'd just like to say an enormous thank you to Mel for that fantastically interesting talk. I was trying to multitask there, and I've shared the details of the workshop on Twitter as well. So just a reminder, please do tweet and share anything from today on social media. I can see in the chat room already that there is someone who would like to join in the webinar, which is fantastic. Mel, is it for adults only, the webinar?
It's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
Yeah.
So no, that's okay that children could join in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. There's a question as someone feels that it would help their daughter, so that would be wonderful.
Yeah. If anything can help, it's art.
Yeah.
It can help you process what's going on with you, but also it's a way of expressing how you feel as well. So I think it's really important with a diagnosis like IIH to be able to communicate it because it's invisible.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I know that we're hoping that Mel, as our new arts and culture representative, will be supporting us with was we ran, some of you may be aware that we ran earlier in the year an IIH art competition, and we were overwhelmed with the expressions of people's experience of IIH through the media of art, and the winners of that competition, their art is being made into hard copy materials, and that's being shared in the research laboratories at Birmingham, as I know, and I believe, Mel, your cyanotypes are as well. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not that I know of yet, but sure.
Hopefully. Mel, the cyanotype images were very much informed by, I wanted to ask you as well, was we did a survey with you looking at the symptoms of IIH, and could you tell us a little bit more about how they informed the cyanotypes that you made?
So it was a description survey, and I think there was how many, 150 or so participants.
Yes.
And I just took some of the most descriptive descriptions and just related them to myself, but also to the images. It's really hard to explain without showing you exactly what I did, but I just wanted to communicate the kind of visual disturbances, because that part, the cyanotype part, is just about papilledema.
Yeah.
So there's, I mean, the one about tinnitus is going to be all about ears. So I've been collecting ears for like a year now, but I'm trying to collaborate as much as possible with the community to get their views as well. So that's what I'm trying to get across in the images. But also for people that don't have IIH or don't know anything about it, can see what it's like in a way.
Yeah. I think that's really important and very valuable, to have different ways of expressing IIH, the experience of IIH. And
yeah,
I think that we've got you on board to do that now.
And I think that, you know, it's important for us, but also it's important to communicate this with medical professionals as well, because like I said, the scale of 1 to 10 of pain is subjective and so different now, I think, and people's pain thresholds are completely different to each other, and it's all subjective. And I think that we can find a way to communicate it better, especially those people with chronic illnesses. Like, it's, you know, it's not just IIH, it's all the other invisible illnesses too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just to pass on to you, Mel, that in the chat I can see a comment about saying loving what you're doing. And thank you for that. I think it's really helpful to be able to express pain in different ways.
Yeah, I just don't want the whole motivation behind my artwork turning towards IIH is because I don't want anyone to feel the way I did for that year. And I know a lot of people have, and I just want to change that and make it more accessible, the research, and yeah, just helping others to overcome the diagnosis, and actually take control back, because when I took control back, it was the best thing I ever did. And I want to inspire other people to do that, but help them through it with artwork and focus groups.
Fantastic. Well, we're very excited to have you on board, Mel. I'm very excited to do the webinar with you on the 23rd of July, and hopefully that'll be the first step of a journey.
First of many.
Yeah, absolutely, where we can expand this area. Now, our next talk is from Dr. Pooja Harijan, which is starting at 10:15. What I don't want to do is, because I know some people are jumping in and out specifically, and they have the timings in advance. So what I don't want to do is to start Pooja early, just in case we have some parents who are joining at 10:15. So what I'd suggest we do is just take a 10-minute comfort break, and then we'll be back just before 15:15. With the aim to start with Pooja at 15:15. Okay, lovely. We will see you soon.